Title: A Stand in the Aisle. In the small town of Maplewood, nestled in Alabama, a routine grocery shift for a young man named Marcus Lee was about to take an unexpected turn. Marcus, a quiet and dependable employee at Maplewood Grocers, had been working there for nearly 4 years. He was known for his punctuality and his ability to keep the store organized. On that fateful Tuesday afternoon, while he was restocking shelves with fresh produce, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. Around 2:45 p.m., as Marcus hummed a tune from his favorite artist, he noticed a police cruiser pull up outside. Initially, he thought nothing of it. Sometimes, officers came in to check on things or respond to minor disturbances. However, when Officer Jake Thompson strode through the entrance, his demeanor was anything but casual. He walked straight past the registers and headed directly toward Marcus. "Let me see your ID," Thompson demanded, his tone flat and devoid of any greeting or explanation. Marcus looked up, confusion etched on his face. "Excuse me? Why you need my ID?" "You match a description," Thompson replied curtly, scanning the aisle as if searching for something to justify his actions. "What description?" Marcus asked, his voice steady but firm. "Am I being accused of something?" Thompson didn't answer, instead repeating his demand for ID. The tension in the grocery store escalated as customers began to take notice. A woman at the deli paused her work, and a mother with a toddler in a shopping cart stopped in her tracks. Marcus's co-worker, David, peeked around the corner, concern written all over his face. "I've been here since 11 a.m., Marcus stated, his calm demeanor contrasting sharply with the officer's aggression. "You can check the logs. I'm not handing over my ID without an explanation." Thompson's voice grew sharper. "I'm giving you a lawful order. Do you want to add obstruction to this?" The words hung in the air, and the atmosphere shifted from awkward to electric. Marcus stood his ground, his heart racing but his resolve unshaken. "Call your supervisor. This feels like harassment." For a brief moment, Thompson hesitated, uncertainty flickering across his face. It was just enough for Marcus to take a breath. But the officer quickly masked his doubt with a facade of authority. "Fine," Thompson muttered. "Don't cooperate. I'll file the report and handle it from there." Before the situation could escalate further, a voice cut through the tension. Sarah Mitchell, the store manager, emerged from the back room. She had worked at Maplewood Grocers for over 2 decades and was known for her fierce protection of her staff. "Is there a problem here?" Sarah asked, standing shoulder to shoulder with Marcus, her tone calm but her eyes fierce. "This is a police matter," Thompson replied, trying to maintain control. "This is my store and that's my employee," Sarah shot back. "What exactly is the issue?" Thompson glanced around, realizing too many eyes were on him. "I have the right to request ID," he insisted. "And you haven't stated what he's suspected of," Sarah countered. "You walked in here and demanded ID without any context." Thompson shifted uncomfortably. "We had a call about a theft nearby. The caller said it might have been someone in a dark hoodie." Sarah pointed out, "He's wearing a blue company vest with his name badge on display. His hoodie is in the break room. Want me to get it?" Murmurs rippled through the crowd. An older man shook his head, muttering about the absurdity of the situation. The officer's confidence began to wane as Sarah continued to press him. "You didn't ask any questions. You just demanded ID," she said firmly. "What you're doing is not policing, it's targeting." The tension in the aisle was palpable. Marcus stood silently beside Sarah, feeling the weight of the moment. He had never imagined he would find himself in such a situation, but he was grateful for her support. Just then, a man stepped forward from the back of the store. He was older, with a calm demeanor and a thoughtful expression. "Excuse me," he said gently. "I couldn't help but overhear. What's your reasonable suspicion here, officer?" Thompson turned to face him, irritation flashing in his eyes. "Who are you?" "My name is Robert Hayes," the man replied. "I'm a retired attorney specializing in civil rights. Unless this man is actively suspected of a specific crime, he has no legal obligation to produce identification." The air shifted again and Thompson's confidence faltered. Robert continued, "There are several people recording this encounter. If this ends up in court, everything said here will matter." Thompson's jaw tightened, but he struggled to respond. "I'm just trying to follow up on a report," he muttered. "Then follow up properly," Robert urged. "This man deserves that, and so does his community." The officer's posture shifted, and for a moment, it seemed he might back down. But instead, he took a small step toward Marcus, his hand hovering near his utility belt. The crowd gasped collectively. "Are you really going to try to intimidate me for doing my job?" Marcus asked, his voice steady. "Back off," Sarah interjected, stepping between them. "You're not going to corner one of my employees in the middle of my store without cause." Thompson looked like he might snap back, but Sarah leaned in slightly. "I have every clock and timestamp you could ask for. I will print it all out and take it to precinct myself." Marcus exhaled, feeling the tension ease slightly. He was tired of the confrontation, but grateful for the support. "You know what's wild?" he said quietly. "My little cousin just had to write an essay on the Fourth Amendment about unreasonable searches, and here I am living the example." The officer shifted uncomfortably, realizing the gravity of the situation. Just then, a long-time customer, Mrs. Clara Johnson, rolled her cart past and said loudly, "This isn't right. I've been shopping here for years, and that young man has always been helpful." Laughter flickered through the crowd, and Thompson's resolve crumbled. He muttered something about keeping professional before turning and walking out of the store, leaving the tension behind him. Sarah turned to Marcus. "You good?" she asked. "Yeah," he replied, though he felt the weight of the moment. She handed him her phone. "Clock out for 30 minutes. Go outside and breathe. Come back when you're ready." As Marcus stepped outside, he didn't realize that what had just happened was the beginning of something much larger. He sat on the edge of the loading dock, taking in the early evening light and the soft breeze. Inside the store, Sarah locked the office door and reviewed the security footage, determined to ensure that this incident wouldn't be swept under the rug. Meanwhile, a small group of customers gathered outside, discussing what had just transpired. One woman, a nurse named Emily, began recording a video on her phone, determined to share the story. "This is not okay," she said. "We need to hold the police accountable." By the time Marcus returned to the store, the video of the incident had already begun to circulate online. People were sharing their thoughts, and the support for Marcus grew. He was met with nods and quiet affirmations from customers and co-workers alike. As the days passed, the story gained traction, and the community rallied around Marcus. He received messages of support from people he had never met, and the incident sparked conversations about policing and community relations. The Maplewood Police Department issued a statement acknowledging the incident and promising a review of their protocols. But for Marcus, the most important thing was the support he received from his community. He realized that he wasn't alone in this fight. As he returned to work, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. He was no longer just an employee. He was a symbol of resilience and strength. And while the road ahead was uncertain, he knew he had the support of his community behind him.